You guys, welcome to an all-new week. We're starting off with the Pop Culture Roundup. The one and only, my favorite person that does this with me. You know her as a writer. You know her as a comedian. You know her as a podcast host of So True with Sophie Ross. But we got so many things to get into because I haven't talked to her in 2 weeks. We need to start off with some personal things, though. Sophie Ross, how is the move-in going? You revealed 2 weeks ago that you were moving in with your beau. How is that going? What's happening?
I'm literally looking at him as we speak, and he has like boxes. I'm just like, please stop. For some reason, for some reason, moving is like the worst thing in the world.
It is, yes.
And like, I just started packing today, and now like actually seeing the boxes and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, it's real. It's happening. I'm not settled. I'm like just feeling so anxious. So yeah, we move actually next Monday, and we have a wedding out of town this weekend.
You guys have the busiest wedding schedule of all people. I mean, you guys are always on not a vacation. Like, you're always at a wedding, a vacation. You're going to go see your new nephew, which I saw that you did a couple weeks ago. You guys are so busy all the time. By the way,
it's been the craziest month.
I'm treating you like a TMZ reporter would go up to one of the Vanderpump Rules cast members. Sophie. Okay. What's going on? Like, it's the same guy doing all these interviews. He's like, okay, Sophie, I hear you're moving in. How's that going?
I prefer not to repeat it.
Okay. Hey, news comes out that you have a birthday today. Is that true? How's everybody around you feeling about that?
Oh my God. As everyone knows, I am not a fan of my birthdays. It's always like, it's like New Year's where you just always have like, you hype it up to yourself and it always ends up being disappointed. And so now I just have no expectations for my birthday ever. And it's going to be like a rainy Monday this year and I have to move. So yeah, it sucks. And also, yeah, this month is crazier than usual with like weddings, and my nephew was born and we're moving and it's my birthday.
Well, it's my effing birthday. S. Schroeder's
my birthday.
By the way, speaking of that, I know this isn't even on the list, but Stassi Schroeder is having a 35th birthday party at she's doing a stage show at the Ace Hotel the Ace Hotel has like this really beautiful theater she's doing a 35th birthday party. I think it's June, and Katieth Maloney is going to be one of the special guests. But isn't that like
she's like a live show?
It's like it's like her podcast show, but it's her 35th birthday. And I saw the advertisement for it, and it uses those images from Vanderpump of like, it's my birthday.
Yeah. I don't know. Ryan, I cannot wait for us to eventually do a live show. But until then, I'm just going to hate on live shows. I'm going to hate on them and not like the ones that are actually funny podcasts that I care about. Like ours and Watch What Crappens. There are people, and I'm not going to say who. There's like an influencer / just person that recently put on a live show. And I'm like, I hate society that we have influencers that really have nothing of substance to even say. It's not like a comedy show. It's not a podcast. It's just like, I'm going to stand in front of these people for 3 hours and just make it all about me and talk about myself and talk about my sexcapades from college or whatever it is. And we have people paying $70, $80 to watch this.
I do wonder where we are going with like podcasting and live shows in general. And this isn't going to sound like petty, but it is funny because it's like now truly everybody has their own podcast, and everybody is a pop culture historian now. Like, by the way, I'm saying this as a
self-proclaimed pop culture.
Everybody is a pop culture expert now, and they almost think that they have to have a podcast to actually have it ring true somewhat. And I just find that interesting because 3 years ago when I started this, there was tons, but now it's not even a comp. Like, I mean, I see like at least 10 pop up every week now. It's wild.
10 like new podcasts
on top of, and by the way, we're already put out of business because we got the Twat Pod, 2 T's in a pod, Freddie Mellencamp and Tamara.
How can we compete?
And this week, well, I mean, we're retired now because Jax and Brittany from ex Vanderpump Rules cast members, When Reality Hits comes out Tuesday, and I'll listen.
I was like, what's it called again? It's like life after cameras or something.
It's well, here's the deal. Did you watch Jax on Watch What Happens Live this week?
Did I?
By the way, that's why I'm like, of course I did. And it was classic Jax in the fact that he revealed all of these secrets that even Brittany was like,
Brian?
I never heard that, Jax. I never heard you say that.
Oh my God. Yeah. When he was talking about, oh yeah, I knew about Schwartz.
He goes, what?
He was like, I knew about Schwartz and Raquel, like, or Sandoval and Raquel. Schwartz definitely knew. I knew for a fact. And Brittany,
she goes, I didn't know that.
You know that Jax was so pissed and emotionally abusive after Watch What Happens Live because Brittany kept giving it away. She kept giving his lies away. Wait, my favorite part was when he kept being like, I've never been wrong about anything. Everything I've said, he thinks this like totally vindicates him. He thinks this exonerates him. He's like, I've been right about everything I've ever said.
Well, this is why. Okay, the Vanderpump Rules story is like Ariana and Tom and Raquel, Rachel, right? But the other story with this is everybody from the past coming up to reclaim some kind of like the Vanderpump attention economy. And it's like, Jax, do we really want to get into your story, Jax? Because like, if the first guest on this podcast better be that 98-year-old grandma that her and Faith had sex in front of, that would be a great first guest for the Jax and Brittany podcast. But like, you can't be like, you weren't right about everything because you lied about everything so much.
Wait,
that you're not a reliable narrator.
When Andy was like, what about like you and Kristen? Or what about, like,
she goes, oh, they're just like my sister.
He goes, that was a fib. That was a fib. And even Brittany was like, no, you can admit that was a lie. That was a lie, Jax. He can't even admit, like, and I think that watching him on Watch What Happens Live, like I was watching it with my sister and my brother-in-law because I was visiting my new nephew, who's so cute, by the way.
That's a family event, by the way. I think that is something that should be shared with family. Yeah.
Oh, it absolutely. My sister just like went on her Vanderpump Rules journey like last year, watching it from the beginning. Like she had never watched it before, and she's like, "I'm so happy you like introduced me to VPR for this. It all paid off." But anyway, so we're watching it, and my brother-in-law and my sister were like, I don't know, like watching Watch What Happens Live with Jax kind of made me want Jax back. And I was like, it did the opposite for me. It made me realize that he is so frustrating to watch because you just want to shake him and like scream at him because he's such a liar. And you just want to
but that was why we liked him to begin with. My dad always pointed out, like, he's like, well, every show does need a villain, but I feel like we have so many villains this season already on Vanderpump Rules that he can be part of the economy around it, like Dodie and all of that stuff. But we don't need him. Like Lala, which, by the way, I need your take on Lala, especially after this week's episode, is that all of these people, like Lala was like, I definitely want Jax and Brittany back on. I'm like, first off, cast members should have nothing to do with casting ever. Why would you want Jax and Brittany back on just because you hang out with them in real life? But what would it add to the show at this point? The only way it would add something is if Jax got on there and ruined his whole marriage because he cheated and got caught again. That's the only way it would work.
I think if Jax is listening right now, you just gave him a free idea.
Well, that's what I said. Sylvia, I go, he's gonna bust, and he goes, babe, I did it for the show. We needed a storyline, babe. I did it for that little man, little baby Cauchi over there. I want to put him in Nikes. Okay, so so after the reunion, guys,
you're no angel either, sweetheart. I'm sorry, that took me like 30 seconds.
Hey, babe, I put those boobs are mine. Jax, you wanted me to get these. No. Anyway, sorry, I'm all over the place. Okay, at the celebration after the reunion on Thursday, everybody went over to this bar, Laurel Tavern, and it was so funny because even Jax was there. And that cracks me up because Jax, and I've repeated this so many times, has said so many gnarly things about Ariana, or like over the years, like gnarly. But at the same time, isn't it funny that he kind of needs to kiss Ariana's ring at this point because she has given him an entrance back into this. And I'm not talking about Brittany. I'm talking about Jax. Like, I'm talking about these people. Ariana, like all these people now love her, stand up for her, everything. The sun sets over Ariana, but it's so funny how they all badmouthed her before. And now it's like, Ariana, can I come be around you? Can I come? That's how it reads sometimes.
Jackson Watch What Happens Live was like Queen Ariana. I mean, whose side? You can't even be on Sandoval's side. Like, who's on his side anyway? And it's like, he's just like mimicking what real humans like are reacting.
But men, this is why men, and I don't think tons of men listen to this show, but if men are listening, this is why you don't cheat, because you will unleash ancient evils back into your ecosystem. And this is like Jax is there just to also, part of it's to destroy Sandoval, because he always thought Sandoval thought he was better than him.
Watching it, I was like, that Sandoval wants to murder Jax through the screen right now.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Jax is saying that about me. He's an asshole, you know? And then, wait, what's your take on Schwartz?
Are you fucking kidding me?
So on Friday, you guys, we got a couple of leaks. Who knows whether any of these can be trusted, but one of them said that there was a physical altercation by somebody that you might not have expected. And so everybody would expect Sandoval to be, the one that, is going to either try to get gotten hit or something. Who do you think is not to be expected that would get into a physical altercation?
Who do I think didn't get into the physical altercation?
Well, who do you think did? Because it says it's somebody that you wouldn't expect. So the one person is Sandoval. We would know that. Somebody came for Sandoval.
James Kennedy is another one that I would expect.
See, I would expect too. So it wasn't him. The only one I wouldn't expect is Schwartz. Is there a world in which Schwartz could have been like, dude, it's too far, man. It's too far.
Honestly, no. He is the one that you would least expect. And I still refuse to believe that.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that as well. He's coming back from Winter House season 3. And I just don't think he would do that to Sandoval.
Maybe I could even see Katie. Even though we've seen Katie get into physical altercations throughout the series, she's not directly involved in the scandal, really. So you wouldn't expect her.
Wasn't it wild though? This is kind of Katie's Katie's victory season in a lot of ways, because a lot of people are catching up to what she had to deal with. Yes. And a lot of people and I don't think she's bitching about this at her, but it's not sad, but part of me is kind of man, this really would have been, the focus would have been on her. And now it's completely not off her, because I believe it's going to be talked about a lot at the reunion as well. But I feel like a lot of people are catching up to, maybe Schwartz wasn't the best husband / boyfriend. And all of the things that you've seen before this are now kind of filtered through a new lens for me. And even, by the way, do you think Schwartz's new girlfriend's going to actually be brought up at the reunion final? Joe, do you think that's going to be brought up?
Brought up, maybe. I thought for a second, I was like, do you think she would have been there? No, we would have heard about it by now.
No. Yeah. How do you think they shot, how do you think they even talked about anything else that day? We're like, hey, Lala, speaking of that, how's your makeup line? How do you go from this story that is so hot right now? How do you ever kind of downshift and say, oh, how was it getting the Schwartz back, Schwartz? How was that for you? Could you?
They probably spent 30 seconds talking about, so how's Schwartz and Sandy's? What was that like?
What's it like to be a restaurateur? Oh, Andy, thanks so much for that question. It's been great, man.
But I think also all of the other storylines in some way tie back to the scandal.
Yes, everything. Because Scheana's relationship with Raquel, she went to bat for her all season. And then, of course, by the way, she dropped the restraining order. This is what leaked too, is that Raquel supposedly gave Andy court papers dropping the restraining order, but they weren't official court papers. So they couldn't drop it.
She keeps embarrassing herself more and more. And more. Wait, but
Andy, can you give this to Scheana, please?
Yeah, oh my God. No, but going back to Katie, this is supposed to be Katie Maloney's victory lap season. Did you see my controversial? I didn't realize how controversial it was until I tweeted it. And I basically was like, Katie is so freaking miserable. And I tweeted this before. It was before this most recent episode. So I wasn't saying it because of the wedding room drama. I just think that Katie is so miserable. She kept being like, I am going to light Joe on fire. I'm going to light Rachel on fire. She said that multiple times.
She's a pyromaniac. I love it.
Yeah. And I'm just like, first of all, you're not giving season 1 Stassi. You can't pull it off. You historically do not have a sense of humor. So it's just she seems so bitter and angry still. And I didn't articulate it that well on Twitter, but obviously there were a lot of people on Twitter defending Katie because they're like, look what Schwartz put her through. She had to be married to Schwartz. And I'm also she also forced Schwartz to marry her.
Yeah. So, in retrospect though, she it's a really hard.
Forced him to marry her. No one forced her to marry him.
I will say, she is one of the bigger people that I've had a complete 180 in how I felt about her, but that still doesn't mean she all of a sudden comes off like the best of any of these characters on the show.
I agree. Like I like Katie more than I used to, which is to say I used to really, really, really strongly dislike Katie. Now I'm like rooting for her. I really am. But yeah, it's like, it's hard to, and I know that you're not just going to get over like your 10-year relationship and blah, blah. You're not going to immediately get over it. But like in the preview, first of all, the mid-season trailer, fuck yes.
Woo, that was art, man. From the music choice.
Into my veins.
Oh, it was so well. I mean, the production over at Vanderpump Rules, like, but I do want to point this out. And this was told to me from cast members, is that even with Katie going on this trip, even though she wasn't like, even though she didn't want to go to Scheana's wedding anymore, just remember, there is still a show happening. It doesn't mean things are fake, but it wasn't, the production is not going to be like, sure, you can stay at a different resort. I do want to put that out there. That is 100% a fact, is that they weren't going to let Katie stay at a different resort. They put these people in cages, and like usually a normal person would be like, yeah, I'll stay at another resort, Mexico vacation. They're on a show. The show is not fake, but remember, Tom Sandoval told me this. He said, reality shows make you run towards conflict instead of run away like normal people do. And that always made sense to me. But it's like, of course, they're going to have Katie say, no, I'm staying there. I am going to stay there because it's classic VPR to see that shot of her and Kristina Kelley watching Scheana and her dad walk down the aisle. That's an iconic shot. And when they cut to it in this last week's episode, that's hysterical.
Is Scheana our first Bravo celebrity? I'm not talking about vow renewals. I'm talking about physically getting married twice on her respective show.
Well,
have we ever seen that before? And not vow renewals.
Yeah, Tamara and OC got divorced and then got remarried to Eddie.
Yeah, but we didn't see her first wedding. We didn't see the first marriage.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody in New York. No, I think it really could be the second one.
Scheana is making Bravo history, and we all should be kissing her feet.
And you know what the funny thing is? When they were originally filming that wedding, from my understanding behind the scenes, before this was even shot, was that the production wasn't even sending like an extended crew, from what I had heard. Like they were kind of like, Brock's not really even filming this season. And by the way, the rumor's not true. The rumor's not true that people didn't want to film with him. It was just that that rumor is not true. There were plenty of people that would film with him. It was just that they didn't want to offer him a cast member position,
Brock, like being on camera less and getting a haircut has really made me like soften towards him.
Dude, the haircut like de-aged him, like Benjamin Buttoned him. He looks 10 years
I
younger.
Was never attracted to him until not even close. I was like, got the ick. And now I'm all of a sudden like, whoa.
Who's this guy? By the way, I saw him and Allie walk into the reunion. They had a paparazzi shot, which, by the way, I was very happy that Allie is there. Allie actually seems like she has some sense in her. She really does.
I like Allie.
Yeah. But DJ James Kennedy going like, when he was like kissing her and rubbing her hair at the astrology reading, like he's one of those guys like, I'm so into you, babe.
Behind her ear.
Yeah, it was so wild. He's like,
DJ James Kennedy, man. So stupid. But I took a picture of my sister's dog being funny, and then like in the background is just James doing the hair behind the ear. It was so funny.
He's like, but DJ James Kennedy, I think there's a chance that he might have, of course, gotten like him and Lala. Okay, wait, what's your take on Lala? That's it exactly. Is it? Wait, what's your take on Lala this season? Because by the way, what I hear, and I don't listen to Give Them Lala, is that Lala gives a lot of dirt on her podcast, as well as Scheana's podcast, Shenanigans.
What'd you call it? Shenanigans?
I always call it Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
But Lala, and I know Lala can't talk about Randall and blah, blah, blah. But what do you think about it's giving Erika Jayne to me with the extreme sexuality, with her basically going like, me and the Don, we soaked that Airbnb bed. And I'm like, oh God, like, okay, cool. Like what is your take on Lala? Cause it feels like Erika Jayne so much where she's like, yes. Oh, I'm getting hot just thinking about it.
It's so crazy. And like Ben and Ronnie were talking about this on Watch What Crappens also. that had we not had the information that we have now, Lala would be like the runaway villain this season. Like we would all hate Lala. She's such a hypocrite.
100%.
She's such a hypocrite.
And she does come off, not even, by the way, Katie has a reason to dislike Rachel Richella.
Right.
Totally reason. But Lala comes off as a straight up bully, which always like made me so weird, because you would think after how she was kind of like pushed around by like Stassi and stuff like that she would never be like that. But if we didn't have this information, and also I don't believe Lala has some kind of psychic ability to read people, because if she did, she would have read Randall way earlier. So that doesn't hold a lot of weight for me. But she really, if we didn't know this Raquel stuff, she would be public enemy number one.
Oh, exactly. And it's so frustrating because like, it does seem like now that the Sandoval has happened, she finally has that reason to hate Raquel, whereas before she was always kind of like, reaching for reasons. And now it's like, she finally has her reason. Like she's so thrilled that now she like has this reason to hate Raquel. But like before, it's like, you're just being a bully.
Did you get your Send It to Daryl sweatshirts? Did you buy a lot of merch?
My sister was like, I unironically want one. I was
okay. So I was kind of like, listen, I think it's tacky a little bit. Like, it's like everybody's with their, but at the same time, I was like, listen, she's got a baby to feed. Like, she's like fighting all these lawyer bills. And then this weekend, I see that she bought a new, bought a new place next to Scheana in Palm Springs. And I was like,
a new house?
She got a house like 2 doors down from Scheana in Palm Springs. And I was like, oh my God, is this the house that Ariana and Daryl built? Is this the Send It to Daryl house? Like, my God. I mean, it's not like the biggest house in the world, but it has a little pool and stuff.
Does she own her place in LA now too? Or is she renting?
I believe she does live in an apartment again. Like I do believe that is. I don't know if she's renting or owning. I don't know that at all, but I do know. It
literally, I want to die that these people are buying multiple homes just from being pieces of shit. And I know it's like, I really have to like come to terms with that as a reality TV enjoyer, that we are and I think that Jax was like one of those people that we were like, we need to stop enabling this evil sociopath. He's like one of the highest paid TV members on Bravo from being a literal sociopath. And that's because of us,
But that's what I'm saying is that if we're to take Jax back with open arms and all of these things, which by the way, I do believe life is long, people like, I do believe people deserve second chances. I don't mean on TV, but by that logic, wouldn't we then welcome Sandoval with open arms in a couple of years? Wouldn't we? Like, this show will continue, you guys. But I will say Ariana has come up, has said, hey, I might do the show again. I'm undecided. And they're saying we're undecided on season 11, which is complete BS. Yeah. But the one that she has said is that she will not be filming with Sandoval ever. So that is going to make things a little tougher. But would you want to see a season 11? And would you want Tom Sandoval and Raquel back Rachel on it?
I feel like Raquel has even gotten some goodwill back just from these past few episodes. So I don't think it's like a reach to say that there is redemption. And I said this before in so few words when we were talking about this 2 weeks ago, that like, I don't think it's out of the question for them to eventually get back in good favor. We don't know like what's going to happen or how it could happen, but like,
if you watch the show, you see it happen again and again and again.
Exactly. Even the people that watch Jax that were like, Jax is a changed man. Like, he's really grown. Who would have thought that he would be like the most like, shut up. You're really buying into his act.
What they do. That's what's so fun. That's what makes reality television really kind of weirdly exciting. So
people are very easy to forgive and forget, even with like, and this is so different, but even with like Sierra on Summer House having one great episode as Karma Brown, people are like, I love Sierra.
So
like,
Sophie, this is a great little Summer House. I think I might be the only person that, and the Karma Brown bit from, by the way, if you're not watching Summer House, it's a tepid season, but there's still some things worth it about in it. But they had a Studio 54 party, which was a 6.5 out of 10, according to Danielle. Gabby threw it. It was kind of not good, but Sierra dressed up with like this awesome wig and like she looked beautiful as always, but she was like, Karma Brown, bam, bam, I'm Karma Brown. And everybody was like, woo. But to me, it was kind of like, oh, we don't have enough of a storyline. Let's really give Karma Brown 20 minutes of footage. And it reminded me of season 8 of Vanderpump Rules when they started doing all of those, like, how to get to Scheana's house in Marina Del Rey. And they made this little video game. It kind of
lizard funeral.
Yeah, dog. That's when the show jumped the lizard. Yeah.
Jumped the lizard.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the Karma Brown didn't.
Lizard's back.
So you loved Karma Brown. You were like, oh yeah, hell yes.
It was funny. It was cute. It really was like one of the few times that I've been like, oh my God, that's so fun.
I think I'm dead inside.
She has some personality. It's like we really haven't seen her personality much in like the 3 or however many seasons it's been. But yeah, Summer House this season is awful. It's awful. Awful.
It is. And can I say though, I'm just so confused. And this is somebody that likes Kyle. I'm so confused how Kyle keeps like telling Carl, hey, by the way, let's just from this point on, let's make an oath that we don't let our chicks or business get in the way. I'm like, dude, you're the one doing this every time. You're the one that gets hammered as a CEO and then says wild shit about Carl and Lindsay. And Carl and Lindsay, by the way, don't belong on this show anymore. They should have another show somewhere else because it is really weird that everybody attaches to them. We see Paige kind of like Iago, kind of always like, Danielle, what do you think about Carl and Lindsay? You see those cracks, but even Danielle, who I love, I don't agree with because I'm like, yo, Lindsay has a point. Like she really does want to hang out with her dude. It might be boring, but
Danielle is projecting. She's definitely projecting. And I think the fact that, you know, we know now that her and Robert have broken up, it kind of like explains a lot in my opinion. But yeah, like the Carl and Kyle stuff, Kyle's like, let's make a deal that whatever happens between the ladies, the chicks, the females, the bitches, the hoes, like the way he said it.
Yeah. But by the way, Kyle's the biggest girl there. Kyle is the biggest girl. He is like housewife level drama. Like,
and also like Lindsay, I think in this situation when it's like Lindsay, Amanda, they both walk on eggshells around each other. I'm like, in my mind, Amanda, and I know that Lindsay had those first few seasons where she like, I guess, remember they like cropped Amanda out of photos that was what the 17-page email was about the girls being mean to Amanda. But I don't know, just the last few seasons, just kind of like everyone gossiping in a bed about Lindsay. I can understand why Lindsay would feel like she's walking on eggshells around the other women. I don't know. I like
that they make them do those parties though, because they're like, how do we get Paige out of bed? We need to make, like, how do we get these people out of bed? Because
and then the whole time she's just like lounging on the one horizontal like bed in the backyard.
She's always leaning or propping herself up on something.
I am not judging like people who like to be horizontal. My boyfriend, for the record, would very much attest. I don't mean it like that. I'm not trying to be like
not sexual. No, I do some of my best work sitting on my ass and laying down. Yeah.
He literally woke me up at 11 today to finally start packing. And I was like, that's too early for me on a Sunday.
well, I got to agree with your boyfriend on that. I mean, 11's not that early. You could pack a box at 11. You can't pack a box?
I wanted to sleep in. I was drinking.
Well, 11 is sleeping in. What are you talking about? 11?
Whose side are you on?
Well, I'm not fully on your boyfriend's, but I do understand that it's 11 is like a pretty late in the day.
Brian, you're supposed to be blindly loyal to me.
I am. I'm just saying that there's a point to be made here that it's at 11. Like we're getting on with the day here. Like I also we're not asking you to go out to a bar and like do stuff. Like I know you're not going to a museum. You're staying in your place. You're just putting stuff in a box.
I'm going to make sure he doesn't listen to this episode. So he doesn't know that you were.
By the way, he's like gladly. Yeah. But Summer House is kind of like so this season, and I think we get Craig pretty soon. And I never thought I would say I was home. I'm like, am I missing Craig? Like, I'm missing things to even make fun of because there's not really
there's nothing. What's the new guy's
just
name?
Lindsay and Carl. Chris.
What's the new guy's name? Chris.
He doesn't seem to really have a grasp on how women work at all.
Oh and I think God. His attempts at flirting.
It was wild.
Any woman who has been hit on knows this type of guy. That,
I wish they had hit that editing
so hard to be like charming that you're just like, ew.
He goes, the sun is making you look like gold right now. The sun's making you look like, and then he turns to her friend. He goes, not you, but your friend. Because she's in the sun. Like, it was so weird. And I was like, this guy has no problem talking to girls. It's just the stuff coming out of his mouth isn't what girls would probably want to hear, He was like,
yeah, we go way back. We've like grown up together. And then it's like, okay, that's your idea of like flirt. It was like, clearly he was like, no, it's not true. It's just like, I like to mess with girls. And it's like, that's your idea of like messing with girls. Like, they don't even know like that you're like in on a joke, like that they're not in on. Like,
no, he was negging the one girl. He was like, you're stupid. He was just
like sick flirting. Yes. He has so much game, so much whiz, as the kids are saying.
I always want to know with the reality stars, if you're in a season like you are with Summer House right now, do they feel it? They're like, this isn't working. Like, did they feel it?
Good.
Also, I keep forgetting things to tell you. I will say I have a behind the scenes source that says also with the Galaxy light in Las Vegas, it wasn't just the Galaxy light that Raquel had. It was that it was 4 a.m. and she was blaring EDM music at the same time.
Why did they leave that part out? That's really
she was like, so they were like, it was like the Sahara tent in there at Coachella. It was like a full on EDM. And so that was part of it too.
But like, why wasn't that part of it?
Well, I mean, maybe they couldn't get the rights to the music, but it was like, I mean, who knows why? Remember, they only shoot for like this time to this time or this time to this time. And there's a lot of like downtime. So who knows? Like even Raquel coming back in to like overhear their conversation 2 episodes ago, how that is. The producer goes, hey, they're talking about you. Come and listen,
Yeah.
Hey, you know how many times that happens in reality shows where you see the person overhearing, like eavesdropping on, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the person? Maybe it was Cara Berry. Everyone's business but mine. She tweeted, women. What is it? What is the movie? Women Listening.
Oh, the Oscar movie? Women Talking.
The Oscar
Women
movie.
Talking. I think Women Talking. I think it's Women Talking.
Well, she had a funny tweet making a reference to the Oscar in all of the scenes of women listening to other conversations that they're not supposed to listen to.
That's a staple of reality television. So, I mean, listen, regardless even of the Ariana Tom stuff, this is a amazing season already. I really love this season without all of this stuff. This just kind of kicks it into complete overdrive. Moving on from Vanderpump Rules for a second, though, I do want to celebrate that tonight, that you'll be listening to this on Monday, but tonight we have the return of Prestige Television because we have season 4 of Succession airing tonight, beginning tonight. You're a fan of Succession, right?
I'm so excited. I
rewatched the season finale of season 3 and somehow it magically got better over the last year. Like I was thinking like, this ain't going to be shit now. I picked up so many other like it's such good writing and such good acting. And I think everybody's going to watch it anyways, but don't be scared to watch this show. It will sneak up on you like a virus. It is so good. The only thing that sucks is that we know this will be the final season, but I'm more excited than this than Rihanna at the Super Bowl.
I'm very, very, very excited. Like extremely. And did you watch Yellow Jackets came back?
I did. I wanted to talk to you. Did you watch because they released the first episode, you guys, on Friday on Showtime online?
Yes.
Did you watch?
I watched it and it's like even scarier this season. It was like scary.
I will say I've watched a couple of episodes of Yellow Jackets, the new season so far. And I got my hands on a couple episodes of the new season. I will say it's scarier in a lot of ways. And they're setting up obviously how we get to cannibalism. I will say there are a couple heavy-handed moments. And they kind of fell victim but to the Lost in its second season, that show on ABC that we all used to love, of all of a sudden like new people appearing out of nowhere. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like new people that like crash landed with the girls.
Ryan,
I'm like, who are you girls?
Did you just admit to having a screener for Yellow Jackets?
I'm an entertainment connoisseur. I have a very successful podcast. Listen, I will tell you this. I might have 6 episodes of Yellow Jackets, but I will say I've only watched 1.5 because I don't know if I want, because there was a moment that happened where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna maybe watch it with everybody. I couldn't, there was a moment that frustrated me, and I was like, I think it just might have been the mood I was in when I was watching it this week on like Tuesday night or something. I was like, I don't know. There was just one moment. I don't know if it happened in the first episode or the second, but once it did, I was frustrated because I felt like it was sloppy in terms of storytelling, but it wasn't them crashed. It was like present day scenes that I was frustrated with.
Ryan,
you're still not over.
I'm going to light you on fire.
Don't Katie Maloney me.
Katie Maloney.
Listen, the only thing with it, they have these water. I don't want to get it, and I'll try to find.
Is it like they'll be able to tell if someone's watching?
Yeah, like they tell where you log on and stuff like that. So if you and your dude want to come to Los Angeles and we all watch it as a family, you can knock out those first six episodes like this week.
Wait, speaking of my dude, where are you going? Where are you going? I don't know what.
He's like Ryan's right. You should have been up by 11.
I know, he's leaving me. He just like got up and walked and I'm like, where are you going? He goes, don't worry about it.
Okay, but they'll be so this is not really spoiler, but what did you thought the first episode was great? You loved that it was back there. You thought the girls in the
I did think I really do enjoy them at the plane crash site, like back in the 90s, way more than the present day scenes.
Way more, even though they're such good actors. Even though they're such good actors.
Yeah, in Scheana and Melanie Lynskey is amazing, but Scheana just like pisses me off. She really pisses me off. I don't know why. I just like do not like that character.
And it's great though, and I think we both predicted this, that they were going to have what's her name back, even though she passed away at the Jackie. Like I think we both knew that Jackie was going to be in the second
corpse
season.
Ghost now.
But it's hard though. They have
just like what you're going to be if you don't give me that yellow jacket.
No, but I will say though, it's like it falls victim. Like now they have to like kind of open up the mythology of like the symbols and all of this stuff. So it's like this is a really tricky season for storytelling because they already know they wanted to go multiple seasons. Like how do you do this? You have to then tell us. Because now we meet the older version of what's her name, the leader, Lottie. We meet the older version of Lottie.
Which I was like surprised by I don't know if we knew the actor's choice, but like I don't feel like they look alike.
No, they don't. And it was the one surprise to me because Lauren Ambrose, who we didn't meet in the first episode,
Lauren Ambrose,
love her too, and she's such perfect casting for her. But the Lottie, I thought they were going to go with all kind of like character actors from the 90s and the early aughts, like because Lauren Ambrose 6 feet under from, so I thought they were, because you had Juliette Lewis, Melanie Lynskey, so I thought there was going to be a more known version of older Lottie, and that's not to take away anything from that actor, but I just thought that's what I had heard.
Yeah I didn't think about it that way. I just like didn't think that they looked alike at all, like not at all.
No, Elijah Wood, by the way, is going to play a big part in this season, and you do hear his voice in the first episode.
Wait,
but you don't.
What do we hear his voice as?
When Christina Ricci's on the message board, the message board, and he's like, they do the voiceover of a guy going, very suspicious. I think they would have gotten the footage here. That's Elijah Wood's voice. He's a guy from the message board.
So he's like a Redditor.
Yes, you meet him in the second episode. I
love that about him.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Okay, what did you think of this girl is having one of the best kissing years of the all time. You got Pete Davidson in December, you have Eric Andre, and now we've got speaking of Lala Kent, Lala-ing this guy's face off in Tokyo, kissing Harry Styles. Did this make you feel anything? We know we have a complicated relationship with Emrata. What do you feel? Like, is she our Pete Davidson? Is she our female Pete Davidson?
She is the woman's, the people's Pete Davidson. And I honestly, I respect it. I love that about her. Makes me like her more. I will say though that I was surprised. Like, it was very obvious that like they were aware of the camera's presence. And we know that Emrata loves calling a paparazzi. Like, we've seen it with every single guy she's been dating during this time.
Very like Julia Fox in a way.
It is. A girl's going to do what she's got to do. Which, again, it's like, oh, are you fighting the patriarchy, Emrata? But like, I was surprised that Harry Styles would partake in that kind of behavior because I feel like even with Olivia Wilde,
he's so huge right now.
Yeah, it's like you don't need this. It, if anything, cheapens his brand, in my opinion.
But think about it. He went in an interview with One Direction a long time ago when they were just first getting big, and he said he had a crush on Emrata because of like the Blurred Lines video and all of this stuff. So imagine, like, and he was already getting famous, but imagine you could have your, like, imagine that. Like, that's got to be, even as a celebrity of his stature, there are still things that attaches him to the world before he was completely famous.
That was like Paul Mescal and
Phoebe Bridgers.
That she was like his favorite artist, and he like posted a Spotify Wrapped screenshot, and then like 2 years later they're engaged. I mean, not anymore.
Well, not anymore now. Yeah.
I do like to think though that like under the right circumstances, I could pull like my celebrity crushes.
Well, your guy's gone right now. So who are your celebrity crushes? I mean, we know the football guy. We know Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, obviously. I think under the right circumstances, I mean, I feel like that could maybe be a stretch because he could literally get anyone he wants. And I guess so could John Mayer. But I think truly under the right circumstances, and I'm delusional like that, like I really think I could pull John Mayer. Like I could charm him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you had a good night, if you were like, if the drinks were, you were on your game, like word wise, if you were on like, you know, like you, like those are, you have those moments where you're like, could I potentially make something happen like this?
Right. If you're like a somewhat like flirty, somewhat charming, you know,
Chris from Summer House. If you're not Chris from Summer House.
Wait, what?
I said if you're not Chris from Summer House.
Chris from Summer House. Wait, who would yours be?
Well, this is so basic, and I was thinking about this because it's I will say in the last year, somebody had asked me this, and I was like, I mean, come on, like Sydney Sweeney is gorgeous. I mean, she's hot, she's gorgeous, all that stuff. Back when I was a kid, I had the biggest crush on Michelle Pfeiffer. I swear to God, I don't know why I'm not gay because that's but like Michelle Pfeiffer, I think is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in the world. Who else though? I struggle. Oh, Phoebe Bridgers. Phoebe Bridgers is somebody that I have such a crush on. That's her music. And I will say, I'm trying to think reality show people. I don't know who.
I don't think I can think of a reality show person that I would touch with a 10-foot pole either. So,
well, just those are the people I watch the most, you know. So I'm like, there's got to be somebody in there.
And then you're like, let me think about it. Actually, no.
Well, you know, it's maybe like Emrata,
maybe Luke
Gulbranson. Yeah,
maybe Luke would probably be my. Who else is there? I mean, I'm trying to think. I like can't even think of anyone right now.
I think Joe Burrow and John Mayer. That's a lot of people. I mean, but is there you watch all those like Outer Banks and Outer though? Like is there anybody from there? You know
how last time I said the new season of Outer Banks was boring? It got good. I got into it. Outer Banks season 3. They're back to it, baby. they're back. They're so back.
Oh, okay. So Yellow Jackets, Succession, and then we also we had a new season of Love is Blind that I have not been able to start yet. Have you started it?
One of the reasons I slept until 11 a.m. today was because I was staying up really late watching Love is Blind.
Is the new season worth watching?
It's truly very chaotic. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of big personalities. Like, I just think it's a very chaotic, like, it's more, I like this season even more than the past 2 seasons. Like,
I keep reading tweets that people are like doing a lot of singing.
Yeah, there's a lot of singing. And then people are really mad about two of the female contestants that I don't know. I don't know what it's like. You never know what was like what's it called? Frankenbite.
Oh, Franken.
The way the editors splice things, you don't really know for sure. Like if this is how someone is. And I think that like the bullying that some of these contestants are already experiencing and the new episodes dropped like Friday? Yeah. Like it's really scary. And
I don't know any of them yet.
Anyone listening to this to remember that reality show people, as awful as some may seem on TV, are like human beings. Just
wait. Did they drop all the episodes at once, or did they drop a couple here and a couple
Five.
And then the other 5 come out?
The batches to like keep people interested, you know? And then I think the rest of the episodes, I don't know. I would assume like, I guess next Friday. And then they'll probably have like the finale and then the reunion like the Friday after that.
Also, what dropped this week, and I watched the first 3 episodes, Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3.
Oh, I
you
need
probably
to watch
have not
it.
seen this because it's Peacock. It is, by the way, so I heard some people hating on it, but I got to tell you, and I think maybe because it was all the Vanderpump Rules drama, it was such a breath of fresh air. And for me, it makes me excited to see these respective cast members back on their own seasons now, because when they get on here, they do have to talk about, like, people are like questioning Heather about the black eye and like, you know, and Jen Shaw. And Heather, by the way, is just keeps sliding down from like starting to be one of my favorites to like one of my least favorites.
Wait, so that's what I saw also. People are saying that they've never seen like a fall from grace. And I'm not a Heather fan after like the last, you know, season of Salt Lake City, but like, is she really that bad? Because I haven't been
I listened to Bad Mormon, and it just like, you know, she just strikes me as somebody that like really wants to be famous. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it does like,
it's
she's
kind of
also
a turn off.
Yeah, for kind of, but she's also one of those people that she might eventually work really well as a housewife because she's such a private shit talker. Like she shit talks in the talking heads so well, but she's that little like she's just, I don't know, she's just kind of annoying now, but at the same time, there's glory in being annoying on reality. They're like, you do need those type of characters. So if she really claims it a little bit more, she could kind of potentially rise up as a pseudo villain. It's just her trying to act like she's all nice and just like, hey, I'm just here to have fun. It just doesn't, I don't buy it anymore. It just doesn't play for me.
Yeah. My unpopular opinion is that good confessionals do not a good reality show contestant make.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know what you're saying. Like it's got to be way more than that. But
yeah,
like
Giselle,
if you're
having like snarky confessionals, but you don't say anything to people's faces, Paige DeSorbo, you're not a good reality show cast member, in my opinion. Like you're just not.
Like Giselle, by the way, is being uber annoying, but to me there's a point to it. Like that's what Giselle does on Potomac to me anyway. So for me it works. And have Portia there and Candace there. I mean, I need
to watch it because I've seen so many different like hot takes about it and I want to like know what everyone's talking about. I just haven't had time to watch it yet.
And Leah, that was another thing. Heather Gay tries to like says she wants to get Leah to drink and Leah takes really strong offense to that. I will say Leah is the first episode I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And then the other two I was like, oh, she's starting to come off really bad as well. So I'm really curious to see where this goes with her because she just seems, she's like, I'm just annoyed. This is boring. Like she just like, she's one of those people like, this is boring. Why are we talking about this again? Like she just says that kind of stuff. And to me, that always is like, guys, I know, like try to participate. I mean, that's a choice. Right. And it's kind of like even Candace does her hit song from Drive Back with a bunch of ladyboys in Thailand. Oh, and I gotta tell you, it like I used to dislike Candace so much, and now it's like, damn, I really like Candace. I would ladyboys.
If Candace goes on tour, we're going.
I would, dude. I'm telling you, I would totally go see Candace live, and that just goes to show you how much I've grown as a person and how great I am. Which, by the way, we started this conversation talking about podcasters and influencers, talking about part of it is not even the pop culture. It's always just it's like the tortilla chip into the salsa of like the reality shows is a device just to be able to talk about how amazing you are. And that's what influencers do, you know, like I'll tell you, I love Candace and that makes me great. Yeah. Okay. A couple quick hits as this has gone way too fast as it always does. We have major news over the weekend. Did your boyfriend make you go see Ant-Man Quantumania?
No, he saw it when I was out of town, which thank God he saw it with his friends. And he said it was so bad and he loves Marvel and he said it was terrible, but Jonathan Majors. Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is there's so many interesting things about this story, but he was arrested for alleged, I think it was assault and it was
strangling.
There's strangulation.
Which, but by the way, women who get strangled by a domestic partner are 7 times more likely to eventually be murdered by that partner. Strangling is so serious. And I feel like that hasn't really come across in like the headlines. It's like assault. Assault could be so many things, but like the fact that he strangled her is like very scary. And then, it just kind of opened the can of worms.
But Sophie, what's so okay? So The from the pop culture aspect, why this is fascinating on top of horrifying is that we're also now dealing with a potential Ezra Miller situation of the Flash from DC, because they had so many incidents that Warner Brothers tried to scrub, and still to this day they've not pulled the Flash. But Jonathan Majors now, you guys, not only was in Creed 3, but he played Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man, and that is the new uber villain in these Marvel movies. So he is going to be in the next 12 Marvel movies as this character. And so this weekend, you know, you think about what was that? Did you ever watch that show with Liev Schreiber where he played the fixer?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Ray Donovan. Yeah. This is where, so this story broke, you know, so he was arrested and they had to arrest him. And then by today he had Jen Shah's attorney representing him. There's already been a statement saying that we can prove this didn't happen. The lady has now recanted her statements. It went from his girlfriend saw a text message from another girl, or him texting with another girl. He got aggravated in a car, slapped her, choked her, that kind of thing. The lady
Isn't that exactly what happened with Chris Brown and Rihanna, by the way? It was about a text message. The guy got caught texting another girl and then got mad at his partner.
Well, and by the way, dude, Jonathan Majors is so ripped and buff and strong, which is just scary. But supposedly he's had a girlfriend this whole time. And now it's just now in the stories, it's just a woman, and the woman has recanted their story. So now it's like being played up, just another crazy woman. You know, you women out there are just crazy. You can't trust women.
Also, and I saw a tweet, I can't remember who tweeted this, but they made a good point where they were like, we only found out about this because she literally went to the police. She didn't go to the press. That's how TMZ got the story. They saw the police report. That's what TMZ does. They wait at police stations basically for stuff like this. Like, she didn't go to the press. She was doing all the right things, aka go to the police. So if anything, maybe they intimidated her to recant her statement because they were like, we are working. His team of lawyers put out a statement that they were like working on her recanting the statement because it's so false.
Well, and they said today then in a later statement where they were saying that she was actually going through an emotional episode aside from this. So guys, it wasn't even Jonathan Majors. It was a lady going through an emotional episode. She's going through something. And she unfortunately brought Jonathan Majors, you know, she won. But this is how you see real big money work. You guys are crazy. So that's why I'm glad if your boyfriend was still there, I would have tried to get him on camera and say, you got to watch, you got to get up. You don't make her get up at 11 because she'll go down to the cops and say you did something, you know?
I'm sorry, it's not funny, you guys, but like it is so ridiculous. Like that's how ridiculous it is.
Because you also got to realize he is now an investment in Disney and Marvel and all of these big corporations. Yeah. So they are going to make damn sure that everything is recanted. So I am curious about who does these things. Well, is that like how much money was she offered? Like how did this all get worked out? Like how did this get worked out so quickly?
The kicker also is that now all of these other like I was saying, it kind of opened this can of worms where so many people are coming out of the woodwork, including people that have worked with him before. And who is the producer that tweeted like months ago? That's why I'm on my phone. I'm trying to see.
I know. There's a particular actor relatively new on the scene who Twitter has violently fallen head over heels for, who in actuality is a vicious, cruel, abusive human being, both professionally and in his personal life. And every new viral thirst tweet about him drives me insane. February 14th, 2023 from the account A.B. Allen.
Yes. And then he actually confirmed because someone goes, now we know who this tweet was about. And he responded, ding, ding, ding.
Really?
Yes. He confirmed. He confirmed that it's about Jonathan Majors. And I guess there are other people that have come out. And clearly this was kind of like a known thing with people that have worked with him, which is very frightening. And it's also just, I don't feel bad for Disney or Marvel. I mean, like, why would I feel bad for Disney?
They're hurt.
Regardless, but it's like, If this was kind of an open secret with people who had worked with him before, that was an interesting choice for them to invest in him like this, you know?
I know, that's what I feel like these corporations aren't doing their due diligence in like mental background check, like health checks. And like, I don't believe this is woke shit. I believe this is, hey, don't hit other women. Like just say, I mean, it's not woke. It's like, dude, you don't even have to be a great person. Just don't put your hands on women. Like, it's like a super simple thing.
I'm not going to listen to your wokeism.
Yeah, but see, that's what like people can just like throw it off like that's just being woke, and I'm like, right. yeah, me not wanting women to hit, yeah.
And it's like, just we're living it's a post Me Too world, but more importantly, we're feeling this as a post Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial world, where a lot of women now are just presumed to be lying, which is
yeah.
Amber Heard was not lying, by the way. It's been proven that she wasn't. But it's like, that's just what we're dealing with now. It's made the burden even more difficult for women. And again, I just want to reiterate that she didn't even go to the press. She went to the police. That is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but I mean, truly, if something like that happens, what is a woman supposed to do? Is a woman just, by the way, and we're not in the 1950s anymore. It's not just, well, that's your man. You just put up or shut up. Like you just put up and shut up. Like that's ridiculous to me. Like we don't live in the 1950s anymore. It's not like Stand By Your Man, little like Tammy Wynette or whatever that song was. A couple other quick things. I mean, I can't believe I didn't bring this up earlier, but I need your take on, you had like, okay, so you were obsessed with the Murdaugh trial, right? Like so crazy, But is it crazier that the Gwyneth Paltrow trial is even better than the Murdaugh trial? Like she took the stand and she said, she literally was like, well, I was skiing with Bus and Papa and
I was like, why is Gwyneth having that accent all of a sudden? But yeah, she was like, I'll say, Bus and Papa.
Bus, which by the way, dude, that Stephen Smith kid that was like brutally murdered.
Yes,
they're now reopening the investigation to that with the Murdaugh trial.
They reopened that case. I don't know what the question was.
So the Gwyneth Paltrow, like just because the testimony from Gwyneth is hysterical. And by the way, it is now her testimony was so good and funny in so many ways, but also I just found out she was carrying a yoni egg inside of her for the whole testimony. I'm joking. There's no way I would know that. Why would I even know
Ryan,
that?
It took
Look,
me.
Her face was like.
As I was reacting to you, it really like occurred to me that you're definitely joking. But like, stop doing that because you say things that like can totally be true.
That's what.
And then you're like, duh, I was kidding.
Wouldn't it be funny if she? Okay, anyways, this is a ski trial by that a man is saying that Gwyneth Paltrow ran into him and created like he has now like he got brain damage. She hit into him so hard and then she just kept going. The Gwyneth Paltrow's testimony is a man hit me. I first thought it was almost sexual because he was grunting and he was like obviously like he fell into her.
Ran into her. And then what was the question where she was like, I mean, I lost half a day of skiing.
Yeah, she goes, he's like he had like something like he had like he had like brain trauma or so he had a concussion. And she's like, well, I did lose half a day of skiing, which like is, by the way, that is a lot for, if you're there just to ski, you lose a whole half day.
Yeah. That's kind of a lot.
Well, I think, listen, as crazy as some of Gwyneth Paltrow's testimony, I mean, it's funny in how she says things. I do believe Gwyneth Paltrow is 1000% telling the truth because she would not take it this far. Like, if she really was at fault, like I believe she would just pay because why put herself through all of this? Because now she's a meme. I'm making memes about her. Everybody's making memes about her. Why do that to herself at this? And especially coming off the bone broth interview from a couple of weeks ago with all the shots and all that stuff.
That she has coffee for breakfast and bone broth for lunch, and like that's her diet essentially.
Yeah, if she cheats, she has 2 cups of bone broth.
She didn't need more like bad PR.
Yes, exactly.
But if anything, this has turned into like good PR for her because it's like so like she's so likable during the trial.
Well, by the way, the one attorney on the defense the prosecution is like enamored with her, and she is not even working for Gwyneth. She's like, okay, so you're at your show for the ski, and what are you like? Everybody's like wearing ski outfits. I bet your ski outfit was amazing, and Gwyneth was like,
I bet your ski outfit was giving.
Yeah, she goes, how tall are you? And Gwyneth was like 5'10", but I believe I'm shrinking. And she's like, girl, me too. Anyways,
girl.
She was like, she's so enamored. And then so Gwyneth Paltrow is saying like, I think this guy did it. And if I win, I just want $1, which by the way, that's a famous thing that Taylor Swift did because a radio station DJ grabbed her butt in a photo. And so she She completely took this guy to court and she won, and she only asked for $1.
It was just about making the statement. It wasn't about the money.
The trial, the lady cross-examining her was like, isn't it true that you want $1 because of your friendship with Taylor Swift? And Gwyneth is like, I wouldn't say we're friends. I would say we're friendly. Really? Is that true? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I took my kids to see her concert once. Isn't it true that you once sent her a Christmas gift? And like Gwyneth's like, oh, well, you know, that's goop. We do that with a lot of celebrities. And like, you know, it's like, she was like, I gotcha. Taylor Swift. You're in this with Taylor Swift. Like, I like that she thought this was like a big moment.
She thought it was like, a big gotcha.
Yes. It was like, this is like the Perry Mason moment. Anyways, it's to me, by the way, these kind of celebrity trials, I think should be almost paid attention to, because it almost cleanses you from the evil of the Murdaugh shit or the Idaho killer or things like that. It's like nice to have, or the Jen Shaw stuff, which, by the way, did you hear that Jen Shaw, her attorneys filed for removal from the case because Jen Shaw won't pay them?
I did not.
It just happened on Thursday. It happened. Like, can you? In that, I mean, those attorneys got made fun of so much, and now she's already bilking on paying the attorneys. Which, by the way, Coach Shaw keeps like releasing chapters or like diary entries, which they're later going to turn into a book. Like, what's the diary on the third week of like, I've managed to screw over more people?
Also, like, now that she's just like in prison for her crimes, I guess like an innocent person would be like, she admitted that she's guilty though. So it's like, she's just like in prison. What else is the lawyer supposed to do? If you're innocent, you like want appeals or whatever, but it's like, what? Like, she's just like, I think that she just needs to like accept that like, this is her fate. And and there are consequences to actions.
And we don't need you to be a celebrity. We don't want you to be like, do your time, be a good, like, you know, make it up to the elders or whoever you need to make it up to with your people. Like she kept talking about the elders, like make it up to like all the ancient spirits.
To the elders.
Yeah, exactly. Also finally, in other kind of Gwyneth Paltrow related news in a way, just because they were like it's interesting to watch celebrities get older and like, oh my God, like Reese Witherspoon announced that she's sharing some personal news on her Instagram.
Oh, her and Jim Toth,
which they were just about to celebrate their 12th wedding anniversary yesterday. But they are splitting, and they said, you know, this is it was Friday afternoon when they released it, but they've enjoyed so many wonderful years together and are moving forward with deep love, kindness, and mutual respect for everything we have created together. Our biggest priority is our son and our entire family as we navigate the next chapter. These matters are never easy and are extremely personal. We truly appreciate everyone's respect for our family's privacy at this time. Reese and Jim, I'm totally willing to give them their privacy because I genuinely don't care. I mean, like, no offense. I mean, I'm sure, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, hey, if you had an opinion on Raquel and Tom from Vanderpump, I'd be like really into this like whole thing. Like, by the way, this is the way to do it too. Like, instead of like Jim, then like, I don't know, cheating with Laura Dern and like, you know, like something really crazy like that. That's cheating not the way to do it. Yeah, like Sandoval. Like if Sandoval had just broken up with Ariana instead of carrying out a 7-month creepy affair, it'd be a different story. Like this is why I'm like, yeah, this is a great way to handle these things. Congratulations, Reese. But did you ever see that bit?
That is such like celebrity breakup jargon. They're like,
yes,
we just asked for privacy at this time. It's like, what was the alternative? Were we gonna like wait outside all of us just like
I saw so many people going, I don't even know who the fuck Jim Toth is. Yeah, like, I don't even know this guy. Married? Yeah. Did you ever see that? Well, by the way, Gwyneth, speaking of Gwyneth, like she really made her separation with her divorce with Chris Martin from Coldplay. She had an amazing one because she coined the term conscious uncoupling. Remember when
that was iconic.
Epic. Yeah, it really was.
Iconic. And now she's married to Brad Falchuk, who
from Glee, producer of Glee.
And American Horror Story. He's like Ryan Murphy's like collaborator.
Yeah,
he has a fucked up mind. He does. We know Gwyneth is married to someone with a very, very twisted and sick mind.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Gwyneth and Brad even live together yet. Or like I watched some interview where she's like, yeah, we like to, you know, like Gwyneth really follows the beat of her own drummer. I mean, I kind of like the more I keep reading about Gwyneth, the more I forget like how really interesting Gwyneth is. Like she's very on her own wavelength completely.
Yeah, which kind of love about her.
Quick hit: Zayn and Selena Gomez may be dating. Zayn Malik, do you care?
Not really. I'm kind of Selena-ed out. Don't come for me.
No. By the way, Selena made a Instagram comment in regards to Hailey Bieber that she spoke with Hailey Bieber and that Hailey Bieber had been getting death threats, and she is calling for an end to all of the nonsense. Let's stop. Everybody can be friends. And Selena has now been spotted with Zayn Malik, Gigi Hadid's baby daddy. But Gigi Hadid supposedly is all in support of this relationship. So hats off to them. And then also Beverly Hills was shooting over the weekend with Denise Richards and Camille Grammer and Cynthia Bailey. So they are all... By the way, it doesn't mean they're officially back on the cast, but they were shooting for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. People are saying that this means that Beverly Hills has fallen off. They're desperate because they don't have Lisa Rinna. And I say they've always done shit like this at all times, but also be prepared for not a great season of Beverly Hills. Who cares? I mean, like, you've got to eventually... Denise pretty much left the show because of Rinna. Now that Rinna's gone, she's probably like, yeah, I'll freaking film again. Yeah. Like, it's not rocket science. I pray to God we get Denise's husband, though. I want an Aaron scene so badly. He was so fascinating and so... Come on, he's insane. When he was I'll tell you...
He's being followed by the government, Ryan. Dude, that's on camera. They'll find him.
If I could just have one scene where they're like, Aaron's like, sorry, I'm late. We had to lose Big Pharma. If I could have that, it'd be amazing.
And he's like, cancer isn't real, you know? It's like, if you just they basically said, if you work out once a day, you won't get cancer.
Sadly, I'm not going to tell that to my mom. That's very real, unfortunately. But also,
it is. Aaron, what's his name? Aaron?
Aaron Pfeiffer.
He's crazy.
He is crazy.
Yeah, good TV.
And finally, Lisa Rinna. This isn't a story about Lisa Rinna. This is a story about she has the daughter Amelia, and then she has the other daughter, Not Amelia. And Not Amelia has a single out right now. Oh, sorry, Delilah Bell. Yes, I just call her Not Amelia because it's easier. She has a new single.
Duh. She's my new favorite artist.
Well, she has a new, exactly. She has a new single out called Nothing Lasts Forever, and it's 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. And they threw a party for it a week and a half ago where Harry and Lisa came out for photographs. And
it was so scary. All of their outfits together were really scary, you guys.
Oh, I thought AI created that. I was like, is this what Chat GPT is? Like, it did not seem like a real, it was like, just show me a family that wants to be famous.
Delilah was looking very Erica Jane-esque.
Well, she has the weird wonky eye, though. She has the weird, like, kind of the eye like this, and then
they're too young. It makes me sad.
Are they too young?
Delilah and Amelia are too young to be looking like Erica Jane and Lisa Rinna. The way that
aren't they early 30s?
They're like 22.
Are you for real?
Amelia.
There's no way Delilah is not 32.
Amelia is 21. Delilah Bell is 24.
And that's tragic because at 21 to lose your eyebrows like that is so shocking. I don't know if that's a diet thing or anyways, I just wanted to read you because this is described as ambient pop, you guys, but the lyrics to this song, Nothing Lasts Forever by Delilah Bell says, feeling like I'm dying and it won't pass, feeling like I'm lying in a bloodbath. I could pull the plug, let it drain out, or take another drug for the pain now. Another year gone, it's the same shit. I haven't done much and I hate it. Same me, same girl, same behavior. Fuck a god, I need a savior. Dude, Delilah, are you okay?
I am fucking scared.
Also, did you see her? She's potentially dating Emil Hirsch, that actor.
Wait, Delilah Bell is?
Delilah Bell.
What is happening?
The celebrity apocalypse. None of this even makes sense. Anyways, you guys, Sophie, what's coming up for you this week? You have the birthday. You have a triumphant birthday that is on a rainy Monday in New York. You also have moving in with your beau. You have a wedding again next weekend. You have so much going on. Is there anything else that we need to be aware of?
It's been extremely, extremely chaotic. This is like just been the craziest month ever. And I'm really excited for April to just get settled in our new apartment and just to like be in town and be able to like breathe a little bit and get back into a routine. So yeah, April will be a lot more chill. And then, also I watched Swarm.
Oh, I did too, actually.
Amazon Prime. I loved it. And I love like You, Dexter. Like I love shows about like an anti-hero.
Yeah. This is definitely an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Donald Glover, Donald Glover, it's from the Twisted Mind of Donald Glover.
It's basically Dominique Fishback plays this it's one of those Twitter stands that Nicki Minaj or Beyonce have. And actually Nyjah, who's the artist in the show that she's obsessed with, is just supposed to be Beyonce, basically. They even have the elevator incident is referenced and someone biting her is referenced. So it's really obvious, but I think it's just a very fascinating show about the way that stan culture, a lot of it is poverty and trauma related. And I know that there's been a lot of talk about how Donald Glover is, some of the interviews he's done about the show have made it clear that he's very anti-Black women. So I'm not endorsing Donald Glover for everything he does. I just think that this was a very well done show that is a little bit fucked up and scary.
I wasn't aware of those interviews with Donald Glover that he was.
Yeah, there was some, and it's been, people on Twitter have been talking about it. Of course, I'm not a Black woman, so I can't exactly relate to what I trust these women that they know what they're talking about. But anyway, yeah, I think.
But it's still what you're saying though too is it is a messed up, entertaining show. I liked your take about saying a Dexter or something like that. I mean, the first scene opens with her her opening a Discover card just so she can put $1,800 tickets for her favorite artist Nyjah on her credit card. And I was like, girl, I've been there. That's I've done something that stupid. If you're
wondering, those Twitter stands, it's either Nicki Minaj or Beyonce or Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande or
Teresa Giudice.
Or the tree huggers. If you're wondering they're not all serial killers, not to give anything away, but I think that it explains stan culture in a way that I hadn't really seen before. So
it's a great take on stan culture, but also kind of darkly comic because they are saying hey, some of these people just turned into serial killers. There's a dark humor behind it, but it's a messed up show. It's there's a lot of it's in that Euphoria mixed with Dexter mixed with a lot of different kind of things.
And I think as pop culture connoisseurs,
yes,
it's kind of just an interesting, it's commentary about celebrity culture. So,
which we love, and we love it, and we are. I guess this is another opportunity for us to brag about ourselves, how great we are. And I think that's, if anything, that's what I want you to leave with. None of this news, but just how great we are. So thank you so much, you guys.
One day you will buy tickets to our live show.
Oh my God, please. When we do actually do a live show, please buy tickets. I'm just, what? It would be the right thing to do. That's all I'm saying. Would you rather? I mean,
morally just thing to do.
It's the right thing to do, and I'm going to leave you with that. So, happy birthday, Sophie! Go wish Sophie a happy birthday, and hopefully your dude comes back from wherever he's at, and hopefully the move goes smooth. And please start packing for the love of God.
I know, but I need to watch Succession first.
Bye.
Bye.